Reflections.
And our guest is Rabbi Elliot Stevens, and he's from Temple Beth Or. Rabbi Stevens?
I like looking at old maps. The world seemed a much smaller place 500 or 1,000 years ago, when God's domain didn't extend beyond our planet Earth, sun and moon and a few stars, with the earth in the middle and Jerusalem usually right in the middle of that. The natural order of things was no more and no less than what we humans could make out from our limited vantage point, and we drew the world the way we saw it. As science expanded our vision, those whose perceptions differed were threatened or persecuted or ridiculed or imprisoned for their heretical discoveries of an Earth in orbit rather than at the center, not to mention later clusters of galaxies and concepts like light years. How do we respond when religious teachings conflict with the findings of science? When science determines the universe to be billions of years old, while the biblical view limits our world to a few thousand years, what are we to do? Is science simply wrong, to be dismissed out of hand? The apparent conflict between science and religious teachings does not trouble me, for I look to the Bible for religious truth, a moral compass and values by which I can live and stake my life. And I look to science for an understanding of how the universe operates wherever the evidence leads, including a universe that is endless in time and space. Thus, evolution, as the only scientific explanation for the facts we observe in the natural world order, cannot explain the wonder and awe we experience in appreciating the reality of creation. That we evolved over hundreds of millions of years is no less miraculous for its being demonstrated by science. Being human and limited, we cannot ever hope to convey God's grandeur other than by metaphor. God is indescribable, as are God's works, and the more we try, the more we must fail. Thus, we may be inspired by our sacred texts and live by them, even as we appreciate more with each passing year how grand our universe really is.
And thank you, Rabbi Stevens. Very, very nice, jam-packed show. A lot of good information.
Absolutely.
Of course, this is the month that you want to get your heart healthy. We've got a doctor to tell you about it. We got an exercise person to tell you about it. We got a dietitian to tell you about it. So as we say, there is no excuses, except you need to come see her get roasted.
Oh, what fun. And help us help the homeless.
Absolutely.
That's what this is all
Absolutely.
about. And remember, this is the time of our lives.
And you take care and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.